Hello, this is Kev.
And Lil. We're discussing relationships in all of its forms and everything in between.
We've been together over 30 years. We've seen some things together and apart.
So if you want to laugh or need advice, come spend some time with Kev and Lil.
Have we met? Hello, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
We're back again. Funny enough, today is our anniversary. But why would we talk about anniversaries? No, we're going to talk about a different subject. We're going to talk about how to deal with toxic coworkers according to a CEO. I found this article online. It's called Repeat After Me, Confrontation is Good by Marissa Wu, published back in January 2025. The CEO and conflict mediator is actually a Mason Farmani. He shares 10 tips for deftly managing even the most toxic situation. He also delves into the gray rock method. I have no idea what that is.
Let's find out.
And Socratic questioning as possible mediation strategies. We're not going to get into specifics. Let's just start diving into what some of the signs are. Okay. So know the signs of toxic coworkers. Are they actually having a bad day, or is your coworker stuck in a toxic cycle? Here are 4 toxic traits Farmani says you should watch out for. Chronic negativity. We're all grumpy now and again, myself included.
I'm not a morning person.
But if your coworker is a constant negative Nelly whose glass is always half empty, you can kiss your team morale goodbye. This is true. Gossiping. I mean, we all need a good water cooler gab sesh. Really, gab sesh? The tea. But it can go too far. Coworkers who are gleefully sharing confidential information or spreading rumors will damage reputations, relationships, and create conflict.
Inflexibility. This doesn't mean having no boundaries. In this case, Farmani explains that inflexibility is toxic when it
makes someone averse to new methods and ideas.
Preventing progress and stalling open-minded team members. Sorry, it's dark.
Overly competitive. Healthy competition is good, but not at the expense of teamwork. Someone who regards their colleagues as competitive as opposed to collaborators will inhibit teamwork. All right.
Okay.
All right, so let's go. How to deal with toxic coworkers.
Number 1. Set clear boundaries. Farmani's number 1 piece of advice: to lay down your boundaries. Remember, this doesn't mean you're inflexible despite what an inflexible coworker may want you to believe. He tells me politely but firmly, communicate your limits and walk away, stating you have to get back to work.
All right. So real quick, have you had this issue before?
Yeah.
Do you remember an instance? You don't have to name names unless you really want to.
Okay, I don't work with those people anymore.
Okay, well there you go.
I think there's a time and a place for everything. I mean, you're able to talk about everything and anything with a coworker if you have that type of relationship with them, correct? But there's a time and place for everything. You have to set boundaries. You're like, listen, at work, we can't talk about certain things because I don't want HR to get involved. Maybe during our lunch break or whatever. But people just, come up to you and start talking about stuff. And one, you're too busy. You got a deadline, blah, blah, blah. I said, listen, can we talk about this later? Put a pin in it. And I've had people talking about their sex lives.
Well, you used to do that at your job.
Yeah,
I remember you telling me that.
There was a time and a place for that.
How was there a time and a place? You were doing it at work.
That was a production company, entertainment company. That's what you talk about. Drug, sex, and rock and roll. Anyway, but I'm talking about a senior center, okay? You shouldn't be talking about drugs or having sex with anybody at a senior center.
That's
and I was very busy.
going for them. That's talking about?
I'm not talking about the seniors. We're talking about sex. Talking about my coworkers. We're talking about coworkers.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay.
But yeah,
All right.
put a pin in it. Set boundaries. Like, not right now.
Okay. Next one. Practice emotional detachment. This is a hard one, especially if you're invested in your job and care about the work you're doing. However, I've personally come to realize, toxic situation or not, that some things, like difficult people, are out of my control. Difficult personalities are who they are, and I found that doing what Farmani advises, focus on maintaining a neutral, balanced reaction when they try to provoke, is the best way to handle it. If you don't react, they have nothing to react off of. Can I think of anybody in particular? I can't think of anybody in particular. I'll be honest with you right now.
I do.
But I can... Okay.
A boss of mine. He would be difficult on purpose. And he would touch certain subjects that would upset me. And would provoke me by saying certain things, certain sayings, or bringing up examples of things that didn't go right, and then, oh yeah, like so-and-so. And I hated that. I hated when he used to do that. So I would not want to talk to him. Just business, and if I didn't have to, I would send somebody else to ask him questions. Paul, you such a fucking pain in my ass.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
Language. Oh. Well, clearly we've struck a bit of a nerve.
Yeah. Bad taste.
I've had a couple of bosses that I didn't care for. And I'm not going to talk bad about them now. If they don't realize that they were a-holes, that's on them.
Yeah.
If you need me to point it out, I can certainly point it out.
Yeah, but why do things on purpose to provoke you? That's so unprofessional, especially if they're your supervisors, or in my case I'm talking about.
Okay, next one.
Use active listening. When there's conflict, it can be easy to let your mouth run. You need to air out your grievances. After all. Excuse me. However, one of the best things you can do in a situation with a toxic coworker is listen. Acknowledge their feelings without getting caught up in the negativity. Farmani says this can help de-escalate the situation and may make them feel heard without affecting you emotionally.
All right, so it sounds like you want to empathize with them a bit.
Yeah. Oh, I know how you feel.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, I totally get it.
Don't feed into it, though.
Don't exacerbate it. Don't
stoke the fire.
yeah. Pretty much just tell them, okay, yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Well, actually, don't even say you're absolutely right, because all you need is them to
could imagine how you feel.
Come back and they'll say something like, "Oh,
so and so agrees with
exactly."
me. Mm-hmm.
No, I don't need that crap.
Yeah.
All right, limit personal interactions. Just because you have to sit next to them doesn't mean you're obliged to be work BFFs. Farmani advises limiting your interactions with a toxic coworker as much as is reasonable without impeding either of your abilities to complete your work. And if you do need to speak with them, keep it work related. Holy cow. Yeah, there are those days, and don't get me wrong, I walk into work sometimes and I'll shut the door. And thank goodness my staff understands. They're like, yeah, he must not be in the mood, or he must be caught up with something. And they give me my time, and I can appreciate that. It's the same thing when I come home. It's like, I give me 5 minutes. That's all I ask. And I've told the guys that at work too.
5 minutes.
I tell them, hey, look, I walk in the door. Don't come to me with something literally the moment I walk in. Just give me some time. You know what I'm saying? I'll try my best to help you out after that.
Well, my coworkers used to have a sign for me
at
the
your
production
sign.
company.
That was your sign, and you relished in it.
Yes. Listen, I would tell them, give me 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, so I could drink my coffee and settle in. So there was a sign at the door that says the bitch is in. And then after my 15 minutes, and I would put the angels in, and they would know when to come into my office. So That's it. And there's a lot of coworkers, and I know I was like that at one point. All they like to do is work, tab, 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 talk about everybody else, and your work suffers. And if you tell them, can we, like I said, put a pin in it, can we talk about it afterwards, or lunch, whatever. And if I don't know the person, I don't like to go out to drinks with them, especially if they have, like we say, bochinche or tea about somebody else. I don't like that.
Okay. Okay, I guess I'll do the next one. Number 5, don't take it personally. Yeah, what they said just now really stung, but bouncing off of Farmani's advice to stay emotionally detached, remember, it's not personal. Remind yourself that the toxic behavior is a reflection of your coworkers' issues, not your worth. Don't take it personally.
It's hard.
That is difficult. I mean, detaching yourself and realizing that, you know what, this person's a freaking moron or an a-hole or whatever it is, it's on them. It's not on you. It is on you to say, no. Yeah. No, I don't want to deal with this. No, I don't want to. And, sometimes you might have to turn to that person and go, no, I really don't want to hear that. I remember one time I was working, I was after I actually left this last one job. And this guy I used to work with, he gets in contact with me. We happen to get in contact, and he's talking to me, and he goes, "Oh, did you hear about such and such?" This was from somebody we used to work with, and they were like, "Yeah, they did this," and I had to stop the guy, and I liked the guy, but it was like, dude, you know what? We don't even work with them anymore. Why do I care? Yeah. Please don't come to. That was a bad time in my professional life. I really don't want to dwell on that. Yeah. Or rehash. Certainly, I don't want to give that person the benefit of me talking about them, after the fact. I'll turn on the fan.
Sorry.
Okay.
Engage in self-care outside of work. It's all about work-life balance, right? Make sure you've got something to do after 9 to 5. Whether it's trying a new hobby, incorporating new core workouts into your home routine, or hanging out with your friends and family. As Dr. Monica Vermani has previously told PureWow, engaging in activities and pursuits we love is a pillar of self-care. So don't make work your life. It's a work-life balance, so you have to
yes,
turn it off when you leave the office.
Unfortunately, that's being preached a lot lately. Work-life balance, balance. And in my opinion, if you got to talk about it, then it isn't happening. You have to just, take the old Nike phrase, just do it and just go and, realize that, no, this isn't my whole life. This isn't, I need to take care of myself. I need to take care of my family. I need to take, you shouldn't be living to work. You should be working to live. That's the saying goes. I remember,
we used to make, a date in the middle of the week, during the week, just to break that monotony, or just to, a break in between, in the middle of the week. We started doing that, but it started getting expensive. So, but we could do other things. We could go walk by the park.
Sex.
Why is it always about sex?
It's not always about sex, but it's
I think I remember one time.
Clearly, it's not always about sex.
I picked him up at work one time, and we walked the High Line, and that was fun, and it was free.
Okay.
What do you mean? What's the look for?
The look was, I don't remember us walking the High Line. We didn't walk the High Line.
I picked you up, and we walked the park. That's
okay. All right.
Okay.
Oh, excuse me.
Okay. Next one.
All right. Stay solution focused. When someone gets confrontational, it's easy to just lob insults at each other, complain, and leave the conversation exactly where you started. Instead, employ tactics number 2 and 5, then focus on actionable steps. If the toxic coworker constantly brings up issues, try to steer the conversation toward practical steps for resolving them. Farmani tells me. Ask what they are planning to do about their complaints. This usually stops the complainers and gossipers. Oh, I got one for this.
Go ahead.
So recently, well, I shouldn't have said recently just in case they listen to this, but there is a coworker that stirred something up at work, and I've been avoiding them because, hey, you know what? If they're going to stir things up, I don't want to give them more ammunition. But I asked for some information, and I included their higher up, the person that, because they weren't in. That's really, and I needed this information. The person above them actually wound up being the problem. And they started with well, they did send it to you. And I said, I didn't receive it. Well, you're on this email chain. I go, and then I realized, I said, well, no, I didn't receive it. Well, then you must have blocked it. I said, no, I didn't block it. So there's actually two different inboxes. And one includes myself and my entire staff, and one includes just my staff. And that's where the information went. It went to just my staff.
And did you correct them on that?
Well, because it went to it went going back and forth with, well, you should have, and now I was being accusing. They were accusing me of it. So right there I'm going, all right, hold up. So this went back and forth like 3 emails. So by the 3rd email, I finally just told the guy, I said, are you going to do this all day? That was my answer. And finally it stopped. And I guess they realized that, you know what, I'm being a bit of a little bitch. And,
but did they find out that they were wrong all along?
No, I never got a chance to tell them because I was quite annoyed and I wanted to avoid the toxic behavior because clearly they were dragging things out and they were trying to make me look bad.
But
because
there was no solution to it.
No, unfortunately there wasn't.
Yeah, because it says stay solution focused, honey. You gotta focus. You did not stay in the solution. You didn't have a solution.
You're absolutely right. I should have explained, but I didn't realize it till afterwards.
Okay.
So I can certainly revisit that.
Oh, I wouldn't revisit it. I would just leave it.
Okay.
Advertising.
No. Don't say advertising.
Well, what the hell?
Find common
control. Find common control.
Common ground.
Find common ground. Seems unlikely, but if you can find some common ground, like a shared goal, project, or interest, keep your conversations focused on these topics and use them to recalibrate if your toxic coworker starts rambling about how much they hate their boss or your fellow colleague. A lot of these things also can go with like friendships and family members. It doesn't just have to be a coworker.
It's a relationship, Lil. I thought that's what we were doing.
No, because it says coworker and we keep on coming up with coworker.
Yes, because that's what it is.
Okay, but I'm extending the fact that, especially in my mind, this find common ground, I have to do that sometimes with family members and friends. Like I try and steer the gossip or the negativity and bring up something. Yes, I try. That doesn't mean it might work all the time, but I try.
But there we have the rub.
What are you talking about?
Because, sometimes you don't try to steer. You join in. You do. You join in.
That's why I said sometimes.
Actually, you know what? You've been better about it as of, I want to say, the last few years. Because you've come to realize that, those people are morons. And they just want to bring your good mood down to their place.
Yeah.
And but yeah, so as far as the personal relationships are concerned, I know you do that.
But do you have any work related that you could find a common ground or a shared goal or project to steer the conversation?
Well, I mean, you can always do that. You can always have somebody talking about something and then you go, yes, but I still needed this done. Let's talk about that later.
Yeah.
And, this still hasn't been completed. You want, we'll talk about that another time. Just to get them off the subject. You can always do that. All right. Next one. Don't avoid direct confrontation. Confrontation used to make my knees knock. I hated it so much. But as I've gotten older and found more confidence, I've learned that done correctly, read politely, respectfully, with good intentions, confrontation is a help, not a hindrance. Think about it. Confrontation isn't what you're afraid of. It's how people will respond. So don't take it personally, emotionally detach, and get ready to have a conversation. Often, someone will choose to silently endure the behavior, hoping it will resolve on its own, rather than kindly confronting the person and setting boundaries, Farmani says. This passive approach often leads to increased frustration. By not setting clear boundaries or voicing concerns, you inadvertently enable the toxic behavior to persist.
You're good at that, though.
I am amazing at that. No, the reason why I say it like that is because that
He's
problem...
so humble.
Yes, thank you. No, the reason why I say it like that is because recently the same guy that was a pain in my butt.
Person. Let's say person.
Okay, person. I'm not saying he's not a person.
I know, but...
He's a people.
Yeah, but you said he, so now people... That's
The
50%
point is,
of people might fall into
the point is, they actually told me when the original person stirred up the nest, and I said, okay, fine. Well, I guess that person's a lot of fun. That was my response. And and this guy that, yes, I'm going to keep saying guy because they're the ones that did the email after the fact, said to me, well, I hope this goes without saying, but you're not going to confront them, are you? And I'm like, excuse me? Well, you tend to be confrontational. And I'm
You?
confrontational?
Never.
No, but you know what? It's not. I wouldn't call it confrontational. What I would have done, but I wasn't going to do it anyway because the person didn't know me, so I didn't want to scare them off, so to speak. But I was really offended. I was very offended when they told me that.
Yeah.
Because I stood there and I said, really, you're gonna say that to me? I said, my God, you make it sound like I'm a mob boss and I'm gonna put the gun on the table and say, we gotta have a conversation. I said this to him.
You're gonna put the head of a horse on there.
Or the head of a horse in their bed, or I'm gonna send a message. You know what I mean? No, I'm just gonna avoid them unless I have to speak to them. I'm not gonna deal with them. That's all. At least not for the time being. And it's not about I'm shunning them or I'm silent treatment. It's just that I can't trust this person, so I don't want to speak to them.
Yes.
I don't want them to get the wrong connotations of me. And by you saying that, I'm confrontational, well, that's not helping.
Yeah. No.
There was a third party in the room at the time too, and they even were like, "Whoa, like what are you saying to him?" Meaning to me.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, am I really getting insulted here? And nobody, and this is okay now?
Yeah.
This is what I'm getting? I said, really?
You should have went to HR.
For what? For what? They don't do anything anyway.
Oh, jeez. I hope your coworkers don't listen to this podcast.
Well, you know what? I wouldn't say they don't do anything. Nothing will really come of it, and I don't wanna stare at them.
Yeah. Okay. So number 10, don't engage in similar toxic behavior. I'm guilty here. Once someone starts complaining or gossiping, I get right in on the train. Though I'm trying to be more, cognizant of this and stop myself when I notice. Farmani says that tempting or reflexive as it may be, you're doing no one a favor by emulating the same toxic behaviors as your coworker in question. Okay, we're missing a page.
No, we're not missing a page.
Okay. While it might feel satisfying in the moment To mirror the behavior, this approach only perpetuates the negativity and further degrades the work environment, he explains. Instead of solving the issue, engaging in toxic behavior makes you just as responsible for contributing to a toxic culture. It also erodes your professional reputation, as others may see you as part of the problem rather than the solution. Okay, you could do the gray rock.
Okay.
Using the gray rock.
We're not gonna go over that.
Okay,
that
so
whole
let's
thing
go
that
over
you
it.
said. I mean, oh my gosh. So yeah, engaging in similar toxic behavior.
I have done it. I'm gonna admit it, and I am working at it. It's like I catch myself. I try not to.
I know sometimes I do it as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes
It's
you know,
easy, like he says. It's easy to get roped in.
yeah, it's because especially if that person has pissed you off as well, or or recently, or better yet, the person that's usually toxic notices that it's happened to you, and now they realize it and they want to jump on it as well.
Like we have something in common.
We got to talk about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's happened to me a number of times, and it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate, and it's one of those things where you try to catch yourself not being that person because you want to be a better person, But man, sometimes it's just so difficult to not join in.
And sometimes, like I remember this one particular time, we were at a conference, and my boss did not go to a lot of these things because she was not savvy in a lot of things.
She was an idiot.
Come on, I was trying to be nice.
I know, but she was an idiot.
Point is,
She ain't gonna
she
hear
wouldn't
this.
go to a lot
I don't
of
think
things.
she even knows how to look on a computer right now.
And I would step in for her. I was the assistant director. She was the director. So I, as the assistant director, used to step in for her for a lot of things. And sometimes people reel you in without you even noticing, because they were asking me, so, your boss, is she like this with you and like that? And I was like, no, what do you mean? And they were like, reeling me in, asking me questions. And is she like, is she like strange? And I was like, what the I said, well, yeah, she's really nice and she stays to herself. Yeah. So they were trying to get like information out of me about my boss.
Well, I'll say it. She was an idiot.
And she was
And
strange.
she had the worst hairdo ever.
That's the second boss I've had.
Oh my God. She had that Darth Vader helmet hair.
No, that's not the one I was talking about.
The last one.
Yeah, she also had a Darth Vader. That's what you said about the one at Young and Rubicam.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Anyway,
they both
she was
did.
very strange.
They went to the school of the Sith.
Point is, she was very
relentless.
strange, and a lot of the people, the higher ups, were like asking me questions like, "Is it just us, or does she like? How does she act?" And I'm like, "Do I answer these questions honestly, or I didn't know. I didn't catch it till like I was answering the question. I'm like, oh yeah, and well, I don't realize, and then I was like, wait a minute, they're pumping me for information. They want more gossip from this person because the person was not she didn't interact with others her level. So it was just,
she had no level. She was a moron.
Point is, people do that as well. They
I'm
try
gonna be the
and
toxic
catch
person
you
right now.
into.
She was a moron. I met this woman on more than one occasion. She had nothing to say. And there's one thing if, you're quiet, blah, blah, blah. No, really, she had no social skills whatsoever.
None.
Computer skills.
Nothing.
I don't think she even knew where the
to
freaking power button was.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I had to do all the expense reports, all the reports at all. I mean, she was...
And don't get me wrong, I'm not tech savvy very much. I'm not very tech savvy. But this one, no. She had no clue what to do. Yeah. She had no clue, and I think she knew that everybody knew that she was an idiot.
No.
Yeah, she must have known.
Point is, people try and rope you into that.
Like I'm doing right now.
Yes.
Like I'm doing right now.
So, using the gray...
So this might be a little lengthy, but let's see what this is. Using the gray rock method and Socratic questioning. You may have You may have heard of the Grey Rock method and Socratic questioning as possible tactics or for diffusing toxic behavior. The former, according to Psych Central, is a strategy in which you deliberately act unresponsive or unengaged so that an abusive person will lose interest in you. You are essentially a rock. This is similar to Farmani's advice above, where he advises staying emotionally detached and not taking things personally. Meanwhile, Socratic questioning is, per Very Well Mind, a communication style that allows a person to stimulate another person's thinking through open-ended questions.
So how does that make you feel?
Well, is that an open question? Fine. See what I'm saying? It's not really an open question. But I guess that's the whole thing of steering the conversation in a different direction. And let it, instead of letting them rope you into their toxic conversations, right? Okay, Farmani says that both can be effective ways to manage a toxic coworker, but they have different purposes. So know what you're trying to achieve before you go into a conversation. See that you were asking the wrong question. The Grey Rock method is a particularly useful strategy when dealing with narcissistic individuals, he says. By minimizing emotional engagement, you essentially deprive the toxic person of the attention or reaction they seek, which can lead to them losing interest and moving on to someone else. Socratic questioning is helpful when you want to encourage self-reflection without directly confronting the individual. Instead of attacking their behavior, you guide them to reflect on their actions by asking questions like, what makes you think that? Or how does that benefit the team? Both of these strategies require mindfulness, which can help you to maintain your emotions instead of lashing out at the individual. Yeah, instead of calling them a damn idiot. What the hell is wrong with you? Do you have nothing better to do? I'm trying to work here. No, you say something like, listen, is that really going to help us out today? Because we need to do certain things.
Yeah.
Get things done.
Yeah. That's how I got out of that whole mess at the conference. So.
All right. Next one. How to deal with coworkers when they're your manager. How to deal with toxic coworkers when they're your manager or have seniority. Funny enough. Talk about an awkward situation. The person you should be able to go to for help is the one making life miserable. If this is you, first, I'm sorry. Second, here's what you can do. Hold on to the receipts. Farmani advises making notes with specifics, including dates, behavior, and incidents that have occurred. A paper trail will be crucial if you need to escalate the issues to HR or senior management. Now, of course, you also want to try and work towards a resolution that doesn't involve escalation. And to that, Farmani advises, consider trying to set boundaries with your manager. You can do this by calmly explaining your expectations. If possible, speak privately to the manager and discuss what you're observing on how their behaviors have impacted you. Don't be defensive and keep it on facts, not feelings. That's tough because if the manager has half a brain, they're going to start thinking, well, what's going on? Maybe I need to make a case toward them as well. And I've seen that. I've seen that very quickly where things flip.
Yep. And especially if he's the highest, like that person is the top, the tippity top.
Yep.
And you go to HR and HR doesn't do anything. Because that happened to me at said place.
Yeah.
And
I remember.
My boss's boss. And there were so many complaints against that person.
He was just as bad, though. He was a toxic person as well.
Oh, my God, was he? And, very neurotic, very male chauvinistic, very racist at certain times. And he had so many cases against him. And HR would just placate you, by saying, okay, let's fill out this form or this report. And sometimes people would get fired and he would fight for not to give them unemployment. Thank you. And then it would get nasty. It would get ugly. And he had very many cases. He was in court a lot for the crap that he would pull. And then it's horrible, especially they're above you. Where do you go? Like you said, HR really doesn't do some stuff sometimes. They don't do much. But at least you have a report. At least do have that. Like, keep the receipts, like he says.
All right. When to bring in a third-party mediation. This is the worst case scenario, and sadly, sometimes we find ourselves here. But how can you determine that it truly is necessary? After all, escalation opens an entirely new can of worms. Bringing in third-party mediation is appropriate when internal efforts to resolve a conflict have failed or when the situation has escalated to the point where it affects productivity, morale, or workplace dynamics, Farmani says. Third-party mediation can help identify deeper issues and offer long-term solutions when the issue is recurring or unresolved. However, you'll always want to attempt to settle disputes directly before raising a flag. No-go practice beating a rock. So, yeah, like you said, it's tough. It could be a difficult situation. It could be just when you think you had enough and you go to mediation, or you finally say, no, I got to take this in. And you realize that nothing is happening. Your best case scenario is, yes, make sure you keep the receipts. Because even if HR is not going to do anything, at least if it has to, and don't get me wrong, thank goodness I've never had this issue, but if it ever had to go outside of, where it can, you may be let go and you may not, you had a case to not be let go, for whatever reason, you've got those receipts on them and you make sure you print all those emails. Don't think that, it's on the drive or on the server.
Yeah.
No,
You
print
save them or you send them to yourself, to your
Exactly.
private email. I did a lot. I had a lot of receipts for this past job. But I had to quit due to the fact that my mother was ill and I had to take care of her. But if I ever would have gotten fired, I definitely had a case. Especially during COVID. Remember, I was so upset. No one went to work. We worked home. We worked remotely.
Well, no, you didn't.
No, everyone else
That's what you meant.
worked remotely, except my office or my center. And I'm like, why are we even here? Everything we're doing here, we could do it remotely. And it's not like people could come into the center because we were in quarantine. And I kept on bringing it up. My boss got really upset with me, and it's because I said so, type of thing. And that pushed my last button. And then I called HR and I told HR, this is not right. Everyone else is working remotely. Why can't we? And when I brought it to HR, I'm going to sound like a total BI right now, but HR said, well, we don't know what her situation's at home. Maybe this is her only. I'm like, well, that's not my problem. I had it up to here. And I was like, not my problem. If she wants to come in, she can come in by herself. But why does she have to drag in everybody? And then they worked out, tried to placate me. Then they tried to do not hybrid, but half of the, like, certain amounts of days during the week, half of the staff would come in, and then the other half would come at the other, like, divide it up. But mind you, I had to come in every day with her. So did that make sense? No. I'm the assistant director. She's the director. She wants to come in every day. That's fine. I'll come in every other day or whatever. But it was ridiculous. And I'm like, just because she said so, she was trying to pull a mommy on me or something. I don't know. It was just really upsetting. And once again, HR didn't do nothing. My grievances are out.
Yeah. And she doesn't work there anymore.
I'm still pissed at that. Everybody was home and I had to go to work.
Yeah, she dragged that one out for a while.
And I still do.
Yeah, but you're not working there anymore. It doesn't matter.
It's just the point that everybody wasn't working
It
at home.
doesn't matter now.
Go to work.
Who cares?
No.
All right. So, in conclusion, we've all got them. We've all had them in the past. We will have them now. We'll have them in the future. We'll have those toxic coworkers. toxic supervisors, managers, CEOs, you name it.
Yep.
We will have them. And it's best if you learn how to deal with them now. It's that narcissistic behavior, that toxic behavior. If you're into it, that's you. I can't deal with that.
I don't want to be part of it.
I don't need it. I don't want it. And of course, unfortunately, yes, sometimes I get roped into it every once in a while. Sometimes I'm even that one person that may start it. But overall, no. So, yeah. So with that being said, we just want to say thank you for everyone that's been listening.
Yes.
We apologize that, we're taking so long to in between episodes, but it's the start of a new year for it. Well, new season, so to speak. We've got a lot of stuff going on, but we'll try to do this.
Life is lifing right now.
Yeah, life is lifing. We'll talk about that shortly as well, as far as we are landlords also. And that's going to be an interesting episode when the time comes. Some of the issues we've had over the years.
Yeah,
and recently.
I would love if you guys can comment about experiences you had either with landlords, good or bad, and
or
tenants.
Being a landlord yourself.
Being a landlord yourself, or tenants that had horrible landlords, or experiences that you would like us to bring up in that episode. So follow, like, comment, share, do all the good stuff.
Yep, and then remember, we're on everything. So you can listen, you can see us, you can do shadow puppets with the screens.
But comment, tell us.
But definitely comment. We appreciate all the comments.
And like.
And we're on all the social media stuff as well, so you can certainly comment there also. Other than that, thank you for listening and watching.
Adios.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.